Welcome back to Boxing Unwrapped on this other episode of Car Box. Unless I'm trying something new with the DSLR in the car. I got a Tascam as the mic. It might sound a little worse or a little better. Let me know in the comments down below. It's my first time trying this. You might hear more ambient noise because that's just the way the Tascam works. It's like a ASMR type deal. But let's talk about Schofield versus Shakur. Last night on Deuce Podcast, I don't remember the name. Put it down below if you remember. Pretty much the father and son, the Schofields, confirmed that they said that Shakur had made him an offer. They accepted the offer. And basically they signed a portion. Is back now on the desk of Matchroom and Eddie Hearn on Shakur to sign. And he's agreed to his portion. So we got to fight, y'all. Now, before we break down that fight, they're saying that Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis is close to being a done deal. Why is that important? Boots Ennis is Matchroom. Virgil Ortiz is Golden Boy. Who's been getting at Matchroom on Twitter on the clapback Thursdays? De La Hoya. He been on Eddie's ass about losing every 5v5 and all his recent fighters losing. Basically, he's been on his run except for like Katie Taylor recently and maybe another one. He's been losing every single damn match that he's had from his promotional company with his fighters, right? I find it funny. So, listen, at the end of the day, here's the thing. Here's what I think. First of all, let's break down the Shakur fight. Well, no, let's go this way. I think it's going to be a 5v5. Now, Eddie Hearn the other day said that basically they made a huge offer to Schofield, and if he's smart, he'll take it. Great opportunity, massive amounts of money, da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. Well, this might be a little blown out just because of the sun and the way the DSLR works. But yeah, so he said, I hope he takes it. It's a great opportunity, yada, yada, yada. We know the deal. Okay. How does this fight play out? I'm going to tell you how this fight plays out. Floyd's not going to respect Shakur at all. At least not in the beginning of this fight. Schofield has already been knocked down. Or did he get knocked down? Nah, I can't remember. Damn, I think I'm getting two kids confused. Either way, Abdullah Mason got knocked down. But I know Schofield just didn't look good in his last fight. He didn't look all that great. But listen, he's looked good in his other fights. And he's a young guy. And he wants greatness. He believes he can beat Shakur. So they think they're ready. So hey, by all means, you think you're ready, let's go. Let's get this. Let's get at this thing and let's make it happen. That's what literally they're doing right now. I think Floyd goes in there. He's going to work behind the jab and on his front foot. He's going to try to make Shakur back up. I think Shakur, if his hands are healthy, he's not going to finesse. He's not going to finesse. I think he moves in on Floyd Schofield. I think he challenges Floyd Schofield's strategy of going forward. I think he does a nice Philly shell type defense. I think he sits in the pocket more than we think he would in that fight. And I think he gets a late knockout. I think Shakur gets a late knockout. That's not to say that Floyd Schofield doesn't make it a fight. I think he does. I think he makes it a good fight, actually. Now, hold on one here. I'm going to try to move this up. I think this is starting to move a little bit here. And we're back. A slightly different angle. Sorry about that. The camera started moving differently. Yeah. So I think Floyd makes it a fight. I think Floyd makes it a good fight. I think he keeps it close for the most part. But I do think Shakur staying in the pocket KO Schofield. I think he does. I think he stops him. I think he does a good job at that. But that doesn't mean I don't want the fight. I want the fight. Even though I think what I'm believing, which is that he'll knock him out. I still want to see the fight because I think it's a good fight, and I think it's a good legacy fight for both men, because I think Schofield can go on to do great things, and all it's gonna take is basically Shakur beating Schofield early, kind of like what Floyd Mayweather did with Canelo Alvarez. And in that same way, I believe that Schofield can make things happen in his career, and that'll just enhance the legacy of Shakur going forward. I think that fight, after Shakur takes it and beats Schofield, I think that fight makes it even harder for Shakur to get fights. I think it makes it harder, not easier. I think it does. So, but I like the fight. I like that the fighters are now saying, hey, I'm going to bet on myself, and if I fail, I fail, but I'm failing on my own merit, not because somebody else wants me to fail. And I think that we need, as boxing fans, to get behind that. And wherever this may end up, pay-per-view or otherwise, we should tune in. We should tune in and support it, because if we don't, we're not going to get the fights that we want. As fans, we got to stop saying he doesn't sell, he doesn't do this. They listen to that shit. These fighters listen to it, and they believe it because we're saying it. And they're like, look, see, my fans are saying this and that and the other. And we really need to stop that shit, because that doesn't help the sport. We're just protecting our guy for no apparent reason when we got no monetary value in their stock. Unless there's somehow a commodity that's being traded on stocks. We own no stock in those guys, except what we bet maybe on websites and betting sites or whatever. We really have no stock. And for you to get those odds, you need to have them to fight, and you have to have them fight the best. So that's what I don't understand, right? So we gotta get with that. We gotta really support these fights when they happen. We can't illegally stream it. We gotta pay for them. We got to go to the events, etc., promote it like I'm doing right now. Those sort of things. Now, Virgil Ortiz and Boots. Close. Who promotes them? Matchroom. Golden Boy. Clapback Thursdays. Oscar De La Hoya being diabolical. Right? Being that guy. Eddie Hearn made a statement. He said, hopefully, and I heard they were close in negotiations and almost done with it. Eddie Hearn said, I think we're going to have, Turkey Al-Sheikh is going to have an announcement on February 2nd, or hopefully this week, on February 22nd. I don't think that the fight between Shakur and Boots and Ortiz happens on February 22nd. I think we get the announcement made of 5 versus 5 on February 22nd for a big ass card up in Saudi Arabia or the UK. I think that's what they're gonna do, and now that I'm telling you, that'll be huge, because that'll put Golden Boy on the map again. That'll put Matchroom. I mean, Matchroom doesn't run away from these 5 versus 5s. They take all the L's like crazy. They don't give a shit. Their fighters are gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Eddie knows that keeps the sport healthy and viable for him as a commodity. So he's going to be like, now my guys are true and tested. I know what they got. I know who has problems with who. I know what kind of fighters I got now. So I can match them even better going forward. Whereas, Golden Boy, yeah, they believe they got the best fighters, but they don't know. They truly don't know, because they haven't matched them against the best to really test them out. You do a 5 versus 5 against viable opponents, you're going to find out what you got. And guess what? Going forward, you can match them better. You can match them better. You can match them against guys, that are viable. And then you go, okay, this is the guy that's popping in their roster. This is the guy got popping on my roster, so I can make this fight now confidently, saying my guy can take your guy based on the styles that they got, because I see where he struggles at and I see where he got his problems at. But when you keep, coddling these guys and placating to them because the fans say so, you get these devastating losses that they never recover from, because you put them against a guy who relatively has no name. They lose emphatically, and the fans lose interest in them, and then they go by the wayside because they get depressed. Right? Now they have no value. You think I'm lying? Who knows that Matias has fought recently? Who did Matias fight? Where? He's not even on Matchroom. He signed a deal with Matchroom, and Matchroom just dropped him after that loss to Liam Pato, because that was a tough-ass loss. Because he wasn't matched effectively. You kind of knew who he struggled with, but did you really? And then he didn't look that great with the guy he just fought. They were matching him wrong. They matched him wrong. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring him up the right way, and this is what happens, right? They should have matched him a little tougher along the way, see what his flaws were. I mean, he did lose that one time, but then he went and avenged that pretty decently. But where's that guy now? We don't know where that guy is. His only claim to fame is beating, Matias. Liam had put on a couple of good fights back to back, and then got Matias. I knew that fight as time came close, and I'm watching more Liam. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be easy, and I said as much. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be that cakewalk that he hopes it is for Puerto Rico. I say this now. Who are the next fights do you think that the La Jolla fighters that the La Jolla has, that Matchroom has, that they could put together a 5v5? I'm interested in that. I'm interested in the 5v5, Matchroom, Golden Boy. That'll be very interesting. And it'll be a big deal for spring. And that'll give Shakur more than enough time to get his hands together. More than enough time. It'll give Schofield more than enough time to get a strategy, to get everything together. He's a young guy, so he doesn't really need to rest as much. He doesn't need to do any of that stuff like that. So it'll be very good for the sport. I can't wait for the announcement officially, although it was already made officially. I give my hats off, tip my hats off to, my hat off to Shakur for calling his bluff, making the offer, for the Schofields to accept the offer, putting it back on Shakur, and Shakur saying, F it, if I back out now, I'm the punk, so let's go. I like it. And if Boots and Virgil Ortiz, all I can say if that happens, get a different trainer. Because if you don't get a different trainer, and that same Boots shows up, Virgil Ortiz is probably going to stop Boots, because Boots stopped looking like the special fighter that we have been used to seeing, and now he just became an average fighter, pretty much. I mean, okay, maybe going average is a little too far, but he didn't look like that guy, that Roy Jones-esque guy. He looked like a very beatable guy, very average guy. He needs to get his shit together. His dad needs to bring somebody else in. They need to get the ball rolling, and they need to do it in a quick manner for this fight with Virgil Ortiz. Because let me tell you something, Virgil Ortiz, you might say he's not technically gifted, he's not technically sound, but Robert Garcia is a madman. Virgil Ortiz does have pop, and I've seen Karen pop few times Boots. Now, maybe Boots' chin is iron locked, but if it's an average chin, and he gets hit like that by Virgil Ortiz, it's murder she wrote, I'll tell you that much right now. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think we get a 5 versus 5 Golden Boy Matchroom? Or we don't, and we get those fights in February, and not the announcement of a 5 versus 5 in February? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, let me know, do you like this format better, this camera better? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.